This is Lackland Air Force Base, Texas, gateway to the Air Force. And this is Air Force Basic Training in Sound. These are the sounds of America's most powerful jets. To the world, they symbolize the United States Air Force. But our Air Force has its human sounds, too. Here in sound is perhaps the most memorable period in the lives of hundreds of thousands of young American men, the basic training that made them airmen. Our story has many beginnings, as numerous as the towns of America, a talk with a recruiter in Memphis, Tennessee, a farm boy's decision in a Kansas wheat field, or perhaps a raised right hand in your hometown.
Gentlemen, come to attention. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the United States of America.
to the United States of America.
That I will
This
serve
was
them
the official
honestly and
beginning.
faithfully.
But it wasn't until the escort bus carried you into Lackland Air Force Base that you knew you were in.
Good morning, gentlemen. This is Lackland Air Force Base, and this is base reception. I welcome you here on behalf of the wing commander. You're going in door 20, and in this room we will process you into a flight and squadron in which you will live and take your training.
Man, you guys will be sorry. You guys sure are gonna wish you back where you came from.
An unofficial welcome, too, as you walk past a group of 7-day veterans of basic training.
Well, you might have, son. Where did your TI get you, boy? Well, you guys look like you guys up.
Following named people enlisting in St. Louis, line up in front of me in the order I call your name. Roundtree.
Highlight of your
Marshall.
arrival processing, you meet the man who'll own you for at least 4 weeks, your
Blair.
TI.
Gentlemen, I'm your tactical instructor, Team Captain Sergeant Knudsen. You'll be with me for the next 4 weeks. We will take you out of here over to Mess Hall 22 where you'll get your first meal on this base. From there we'll go to the barracks, wait for the rest of the flight.
No, but you know what you're gonna do. You're gonna walk
What are the
down
first
between
days of Air Force processing like?
You're gonna get 2 needles at the same time in each arm as you walk down through there.
Some rainbows exchange rumors beforehand.
You know how long they take? They take about 15 seconds to cut your hair.
They count 27 seconds on a guy who's got a real lot of hair, you know, California style hair.
They just go right over.
Give me attention, men.
Processing begins. The Green Monster, Lackland's big green personnel processing center, devours the new recruit, digests him, and after many changes issues forth what looks like an airman. Time required, 1 week, the most confused week of your life.
When you pick up this money, you will go to the barber shop. It is located down the hallway to your rear.
You ever had a short haircut like this before? No, sir. Well, then you've got a real experience in front of you. Something you're going to enjoy.
Total time for an Air Force haircut, 29 seconds.
Next man.
My name is Chaplain Weatherford. I'd like to welcome you to Lackland in behalf
A
of
chaplain
the
welcomes you with a few words of advice.
I guess about this time you're asking yourself what you got yourself into. Basic training will be one of the most enjoyable times in your life when you're through with it, when you look back on it. But while you're here, it's not intended that you should like it as such. It is here to get a job done, to train you to be airmen.
Gentlemen, you're here today to get your initial issue of Air Force clothing. When I tell you men to get undressed, I want you to get every bit of clothing that you have on off and put it in this bag. Okay, gentlemen, get undressed.
You're going in the shower room for a fast shower. While in there, you will keep it at ease. By now, at ease means keep your mouth shut. Okay, let's all get in there at one time. Let's go.
You men in the back there, had better knock that talking off. All right, shut those showers off.
11, 29, 34, arms down your side. 15, 30, and a 4. Next.
Put the bag down and stand on the scale. 136. Okay.
Put your feet in there. Back them up, good and tight. 13.
You people try these shoes on. If they fit, put them in your duffel bag. If they do not, bring them back and exchange them. And go get your low quarter shoes.
People, get your bags with your right hand. face the double doors and close the line. Get your chest against the man's back in front of you.
When I ask you gentlemen to do something, I want you to do it as fast as you can. When you put these clothes in your bag, there'll be no rolling, no folding, just shoving that bag as fast as you can. All right, you have 1 minute now. Hurry up.
Processing is a standing in line kind of world. Lines and more lines. And the new recruit seldom knows where the line leads. It might take you to a vision test, a form to be signed, or shots.
Relax. 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 Relax, Aaron. Relax. Stand at ease. There you go. That hurt you?
No, sir.
You men listen up. You come up to this counter, lay your pink slips on the counter in front of me, and put out your finger. If you know your blood type, tell me before I stick you.
After you have laid your record down, have a seat in the dental chair. Fold your arms across your chest, your head against the headrest, and move until the light strikes you right in the mouth.
Slide down a little bit. 17, 18, 19, X, 20, MOD, 21 carries DO, 22 carries F, calculus, and gingivitis.
Step forward, lower your chin just a little, raise it just a little bit now. Close your lips.
Okay. All right, let me have your attention up here. I'll tell you why you're in here today. The day you enlisted in the Air Force was an important
You take
day
the Airman
because you were
classification
taking the first
battery of
step toward
tests.
doing your part in strengthening your country's defense. Today is equally important for you to take a group of tests which will help both you and the Air Force decide what kind of work you can learn best and what kind of work you're most interested in. Before you have finished basic training, you will see your scores and have them explained to you. I think I can get you to realize the importance of these tests simply by saying this. More than anything else, these tests are going to decide what you'll be doing as long as you're in the Air Force. And the greatest part of the responsibility for getting you into the right job rests squarely upon your shoulders in here today.
What we do here today is complete these forms you have here and make some recommendations of assignment to you.
And you follow your test scores to your classification interview. Your last processing station gives you a glimpse of your future.
Sometime enter into the picture.
You know what you have been recommended for?
Yes, sir.
Aircraft engine mechanic, aircraft accessories, and automotive maintenance. Those are your schools.
Is there a pretty good chance of getting in the schools, or are they?
With the score that you have, you should be going to tech school at the end of 4 weeks of training.
Lackland's 7:30 work siren begins the duty day for the base personnel. But for the recruit, the day began much earlier, at 5 a.m. or before. An average day of basic training started like this. These are the sounds of a barracks asleep in the pre-reveille darkness of early morning. The snore, the muffled cough, and the squeak of an Air Force bunk spring. Listen carefully now for the first sounds in the recruit's day. The reveille runner's whistle and the sergeant's gentle waking voice.
All right, let's get up. Hurry up, boy, you're too slow. Get to work on that bed. Give me, hurry up. Hurry up, now you got about 1 minute before we get out there for reveille. Let's move, move. All right, pull out, get out of here. Get out now, Rose, move. Get out, let's go, move. All right, up there, get out of here.
Second element.
First element, out front.
And so you fall out into the dark Texas morning to stand reveille, again with help from Sarge.
All right, get in there, get in formation, and get in there fast. Fall in, you fall in at the position of attention. You don't move around. We're going to have about 15 drills this afternoon on how to get out of that barracks. Element leaders, report.
Sir, first element, all presence counted for, all safety equipment in use.
Sir, second element, all presence.
And so the day begins.
Extend left and right of the base file on the double. With a lot of noise. Move, get about there.
High in the day's training priority, PT, physical training.
Up, 2, 3, up.
It doesn't take the recruit long to learn that there's no room for the 97-pound weakling in this man's Air Force. your muscles memorize the Air Force favorites, the bend and reach, the trunk twister, the arm rotation, the wood chopper, and the most hated of all, the Air Force 4-count push-up.
Head, hot, hot. Up, 2, 3. Hot, 2, and boom.
Remember how hard it was to keep smiling, holding that push-up position after 40 push-ups? And that PT instructor wasn't any help either.
Get your knee off the ground. Get your knee off the ground, man. You two down there. Now, without any, really mean it. Do you really want to get up? Are you sure? Well, get your body straight. Do you really want to recover? Get your knee off the ground and we will recover. Come on. Get those knees off the ground. I don't know if I should let you recover. Recover. 1, 2.
An average day at basic training.
A recruit describes an average day.
Chow and fell out about 7:30. We went to classes. We had marching drill, exercises, and lots of chewing out.
The chew, Air Force jargon for discipline in its most personal form. The recruit isn't long in learning that discipline is 9/10 of basic training. Some examples? Listen.
All you have to do is move your arm, that's it.
I was standing in that parade rest one day, and I was looking to the side, and you're not supposed to move at all. It's just like attention when you got your hands behind you and your feet spread. And I was looking to the side, and I happened to glance back over, and here he comes looking at me, glaring real mad. So he walks up to me, and he says, "What are you, a natural-born goofball?" And I says, "No, sir," and I wasn't at attention. And then it started, boy. He started chewing, and man, oh, man, did he chew. He started chewing, and I just, "Yes, sir, no, sir, no, sir, yes, sir, no, sir." That's all you can say, boy. You don't say anything else.
Well, I had one chow line about the second week. I came through there, and you have to do a left face in the one chow hall in order to pick your tray out. And the sergeant was standing there, and he says, "Do a left face." Well, I was all shook up because, I mean, it was the first time I had him up beside me, you know, and I just couldn't do it. He says, "Boy, I'm going to get on you later on." So right away I figured from now on, you know, it was going to be kind of rough. But, I mean, we had a little talk about it, and finally I got straightened out on it. I can do a left face now.
Well, I got one this afternoon from him. I walked out the door and I started up the right side of the road. I took one step and then did a left face to go across the road. I didn't see him coming down the road. He chewed me out for going up to the wrong side of the road, and I took one step.
I was in my third week out in Reveille. I was standing out there, and they yelled out parade dress, and I just stood there like an idiot at attention. So Sergeant, my TI came over, and he said, he started chewing me out, you know, about all the things I've been doing wrong lately. And then he said, "Well, you think you're pretty sharp?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "Well, just find out how sharp you are." He said, "Jump up in the air." And I jumped in the air, you know, and I came down. He started chewing me out, and I would not come. He said, "You know how I'm chewing you out?" I said, "No, sir." He says, "Who told you to come down?"
Here is the chew in its most common form, as a TI finds fault during a drill field quiz of his flight.
No. Why don't you know?
I forgot, sir.
You forgot?
Yes, sir.
You'd forget your head if it wasn't on your shoulders, wouldn't you?
No, sir.
You wouldn't?
No, sir.
Well, you forgot a simple little answer like who your squadron adjutant is.
Yes, sir.
Well, who is it? You know?
No, sir.
Is it First Lieutenant Mears?
Yes, sir.
Well, why don't you tell me that?
I forgot, sir.
You forgot?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to forget you here, boy, sometime. Set you back.
Yes, sir.
Who's your team member?
Sir, team member is Tech Sergeant McGowan.
Who's your team leader?
Sir, team leader is Master Sergeant. Sir, team leader is Tech Sergeant McGowan.
Well, you just told a while ago is your team member.
No, sir.
What, are you mixed up?
No, sir.
Well, you must be. You got him a team member and a team leader. Now, what is he?
Sir, team member is Staff Sergeant Rowe and Staff Sergeant Foster.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Who's your area NCO?
Sir, the area NCO is Master Sergeant Lyons.
Who's your senior training officer?
Sir, senior training officer is Second Lieutenant.
Don't you know?
Yes, sir.
Who is it, boy?
Sir, senior training officer is Second Lieutenant Girton.
Well, why'd you say that the first time, boy?
I just couldn't think, sir.
Security orders, chain of command, insignia of rank. And if you didn't have the answer, there was very little you could say.
No, sir.
Very little indeed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Does this happen every day?
No, sir.
It doesn't.
Another kind
Just
of
this
chew.
morning.
The quiet type. Slow, seemingly endless reprimand by a flight sergeant. This one is now 3.5 minutes old.
How long you expect to stay here?
11 weeks, sir.
11 weeks. You going to take all 11 weeks to correct all these demerits that you received?
No, sir.
How long do you think it'll take you to correct these items?
I can correct them right away, sir.
You can correct them right away. I'm not interested in what you can do. I'm interested in what you will do.
I will correct them right away.
And this kind just goes on and on
Make sure that you do that.
and on.
Yes, sir.
All right, you men, keep it at ease in here. This afternoon, we're here for your first class in Customs and Traditions. That's Customs and Traditions 1.
Your class this afternoon
Lectures and
is
classes.
Customs 2.
The academics of basic training. You learn about military law, CBR warfare, career opportunities. 1,001 things the Air Force wants you to know.
The machinery and equipment are exact miniature models built to scale. The purpose of your visit here is to give you a visual aid to these career fields.
The term contagious refers to diseases which are spread by direct contact or close association.
Now, whom to salute? All enlisted men salute all officers.
Men sitting against the windows, line the chairs up as you come out. Flight 899, sit still, fall out first. Chow runners of both flights go to the mess hall.
Chow call. For every chow hound, the happiest sound in basic training.
Sir, chow runner for flight 29, reporting for chow.
But before you can eat, dismount a drill in the chow line.
Chow line, parade, first! First man of chow 19, hit! First man of chow line for parade, first! Chow 19, hit! Cut off, loud and clear, 1, 2, 10. 1, sir. 2, sir. 3, sir.
Sound off and move safely inside. That is, unless you happen to hold your tray wrong, in which case, more Air Force discipline.
Were you taught how to hold that tray up there, boy? Yes, sir. Well, I think you better start doing it. Sidestep to that line the way you're supposed to.
Yes, sir.
If you don't, I'm going to get a hold of you, boy. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Get on through the line.
Tighten it up, people. Let's go. Tighten it up.
Basic training chow. Healthful, tasty, all you need.
1 or 2. 2, please.
And the real heroes behind it, the student supporters, KPs, inspired by tradition, devotion to duty, and the mess sergeant.
Hey, run and cut the balls, Airman. Get this stuff out through the clicker. Beat it up, Airman.
You've forgotten what KP was like?
Hey,
Listen.
Brady, how come we always get the hardest job on this dadgum KP?
Always on you.
There's just one thing bad about this KP. You have to get up about 2 o'clock in the morning and you don't get to bed about 9. You don't get about 3 hours sleep.
Well, the hardest pots to do are the potato pots, naturally. Very hard to
And the lament of the man
get
on
to the
pots
bottom.
and
Real
pans.
messy, you know. It's really terrible. You gotta get down in there with your fingernails to get them clean, you know. It's terrible, terrible.
Remember our motto, men. We don't have to go home tomorrow.
Well, I would say the best way to make GI soap would be wet first.
GI soap, the KP's friend. And here he struggles with the oldest recipe in military history, making GI suds.
Bring it back down and you throw it all over everything. First of all, you throw a little in the sink there, so to keep from making such a big mess. Then you run some real hot water, and that really makes the suds. They just come out all over the place. Then you add a little cold water to kind of get the suds back down to normal, and then you can really start in on them. You see how they are here now. We've already thrown away about half of them, used them, and they're still coming up. That's wonderful soap, I guess.
Turn the bullseyes up, straddle the target, sit down on them. Now take off your equipment, roll it up neatly, place it to the right.
Ours may be an air force of supersonic jets, ballistic missiles, and nuclear arms, but it still has room for foot soldier tactics. You fire for record with the Air Force carbine. Marksmanship, sight picture, breath control, and trigger squeeze.
Come on, it don't take all day to make a simple sight correction. Now you've had it in the classroom, you've had it on dry fire. You should know what to do to that weapon, but now. Your first 8 rounds will be fired at the center left, bullseye, prone position, 48-second time limit. Firing position, move, lay down. With all ammunition, lock and load. Now keep the weapon down range while you insert the magazine. Don't point him up in the air.
Now put that magazine in there and hit it. Knock it up there. Let that operating slide go back under its own power and then hit it. Now get in a good prone position. This is what you should make your best score at. So make sure it's a comfortable position. Airman, keep that weapon pointed down range.
Are you ready on the right? Ready on the right. Ready on the left. Ready on the firing line. Safety's off. Fire! What is the first thing you're supposed to do when you have a malfunction? What? Did you put that safety on? That's the first thing you do when you have a malfunction. Put that safety on. Is that clear? Cease fire. That's the completion of your 48-second time limit. Let's clear the line.
Busy and demanding as it was, basic training did have its pauses. The welcome smoke breaks and mail from home. The timeouts when you could feel the quiet pride in being an airman. The town pass in your new blues. And the stirring march music of the Friday afternoon reviews. The lonely pause to listen to the sounds of your future as the big jets cleared their throats at nearby Kelly Field.
Hey man, the Air Force, my recruiter told me it'd be gravy. He said, but we
And
know
as
what
pleasant
you
a
eat.
time out as
They
any,
put
the
about 8 or
evening
9
bull
pounds of
session
medicine,
in the
they can't
barracks.
tell what they're putting in it. But he says, it'll be good. Drink your coffee now before you leave, because when you get there, it's going to be mud.
But I haven't seen any food. It's one part yet. I mean,
Well,
there's
I-
about 4 different kinds of stuff in one thing.
Yeah, so you have some for breakfast, and then they give it to you for supper again, mixed up a different way.
T.I. told us to eat our food now and chew it later like the cows do.
Yeah, man, chew it later, because you're going to march it off.
You know, T.I. is always yelling at you. That's about your hardest thing in basic training, that they always
What's the
right.
toughest part of basic training?
Would be putting a spit shine on your shoes. I used to shine my shoes, but most of the time I used to take them to the shop. But now you got to shine them your own self. And they got to look like mirrors, and I never did that before.
KP is the roughest, I think. You get up too early in the morning, you work too long.
Hanging your clothes and shining your shoes, putting your shoes in the right alignment and stuff like that, you know, putting your hat on 45-degree angles, your bed's got to be made, and all different kinds of stuff like that. That's about all I can think of.
Well, sir,
And what does a young man away from home miss most?
most of all was the severe lack of feminine companionship.
Oh, I don't know. I guess I really miss my girl most of all.
Well, I miss my car, my woman, squirrel hunting.
My girl, folks, and my car.
What I miss most is my wife. She's going to have a baby in April 17th, in fact. And the way we got it planned out now, it'll be...
Almost every recruit expects basic training to change him permanently, and almost always for the better.
But the T.I. told us when we first come here that basic training would change us so much that when we went home, our parents wouldn't know us. He said, if you walked in the house and you said, sir, to your father, he'd probably drop over dead.
The day I went up to get registered in, I wanted to get in pretty bad, and I weighed 113 pounds. And for my size, the minimum is 115, so I ate 2 pounds bananas and drank water like crazy. So I hit the Air Force with 115 pounds, and now I weigh 140. So I'm keeping physically fit, you might say.
Phase 1, Week 3, survival training, bivouac in the field, steel pots, pup tents, field chow, and the tear gas chamber.
Gentlemen, there's gas in this building right now. You're standing in tear gas right now. Now, any man that's eyes is burning or watering at this time, your mask is not adjusted correctly. You can see now why this mask must be adjusted correctly. Now, just a minute, I'm going to tell you to take your mask off, and you're going to see the difference. You're going to see the difference that having this mask on your face makes. All right, take your mask off. All right, you see the difference it is between having that mask on and not having it on? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Makes a lot of difference, doesn't it? Yes, sir. You like to sing me a little song about now? No, sir. You want to sing me Jingle Bells? No, sir. You like that gas? No, sir. All right, get 'em on. Get out that door now. If you can't get out any faster now, I'll take those masks off again, and we'll see how fast you can get out.
Well, this is called a gig slip. It's a student delinquency report when you do something wrong.
A recruit explains the most important document in basic training, the gig slip.
They mark it down here, and they put the time you did it, the date, and the awards, or demerits, and then the instructor signs his name down here, and then when he wants you to sign it, you sign here.
Where do gigs come from? You get some idea when you listen to the reading of a gig list.
Gentlemen, quiet down. I'll read off the gigs that you got today on your personal areas. Squires, you had your 505 pants hung backwards. Aldrich, you had 2 candy wrappers in your field jacket pocket. Calhoun, shorts unbuttoned at fly. 505 pants, hip pocket unbuttoned. Towel not marked in center.
The natural habitat of the gig is the inspection. Area inspection, personnel inspection, equipment inspection, standby inspection. The bigger the inspection, the mightier the gig. As in this honor flight standby inspection in the barracks.
Have them stand at parade dress until I inspect
Parade. For most recruits, the inspection is no sweat.
Fourth security instruction.
Sir, my fourth security instruction is, I will relay all messages and distress signals from other posts to Air Police Headquarters.
But for others, the tension-charged air of the barracks, the approaching footsteps of the inspecting officer, and then his stern face just a foot away, will take some getting used to.
What were you looking all around for, Martinez? You like to see what's going on?
No, sir.
Are you curious?
No, sir.
What's your eyeballs wiggling for? Weren't you told you were supposed to focus your eyes on some far distant object?
Yes, sir.
They're still wiggling. I want you to pick a spot right across the way here. You see it?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
Little hole in the wall, sir.
You keep looking at that little hole in the wall. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Unless that little hole in the wall moves, your eyes don't. What's your third security instruction?
Sir, my third security instruction is, I'll report all orders in violation I'm instructed to enforce.
Let's hear that again.
Sir, my third security instruction is, I'll report all orders in violation I'm instructed to enforce.
You been writing your own security instruction card lately?
No, sir.
Why don't you give it away? It's on your security instruction cards.
Sir, my third security instruction is, I'll report all violations and orders I'm instructed to enforce.
Martinez doesn't know security instructions well. Airman Ritz?
Yes, sir.
Airman Ritz is gig line askew. Spots on uniform. What's the insignia rank of a second lieutenant?
Sir, the insignia rank of a second lieutenant is 1 silver bar.
1 silver bar, huh? Airman Ritz doesn't know insignia of rank. Airman Morgan, improper position of attention, hands moving, hands not by the seam of trousers. Airman Luders, you come to attention like a wet noodle.
All right, John, give me attention up here.
Back to the field, and the most grueling part of basic training, the obstacle course.
Combat course, and you'll do it just like you were in a combat situation. Now, it should take you about 30 minutes to run it. If you think you're well in shape, we'll find out at the end of it. Now, the installations that you've in are going to have to go over. First of all, we're going to have the first pond down here, which is a swinging rope.
I'm going to tell you to do so. I want you to get on your feet. You'll line up in 2 single files on this side of the pond. Men on the other side will turn loose of the rope. The first time it comes over, jump for the rope. Grab the rope directly below the wooden block, swing to the far side. Let the rope swing back over your shoulder, back to the next man. The next man jumps for the rope. If the man ahead of you goes in the water, do not jump for the rope. All right, on your feet. Let's go. On the double. Give me 2 lines.
Go. Get
Jump.
Keep them feet up.
Keep moving. Let's go.
Let that rope go. Jump. Keep them feet up. Keep them feet up. Keep them feet up. Jump, boy, jump.
If you don't want to finish the course in soaking fatigues, you catch the rope, and you balance your way the length of the long poles over pond number 2. And the swaying cable walk of pond number 3.
All right, you people, now when you hit this wall, hit it sideways.
No more than 3 on a wall at a time.
Other obstacles, walls to climb, barrel pyramids to scramble over, tunnels, the smokehouse, and the climax of the course, the minefield. Remember crawling low under barbed wire, accompanied by scraping of elbows and canteens?
Let's go. Let's move.
And the rain of sand from the detonations just feet away.
Come on, let's go. Let's go. More over before you get there. Let's go. Put your back. Keep your head down.
Keep digging, man. Don't stop there. Don't stop. Hey, come over to your left. Here, see this glass wire. Move your head over here and you're out. Come under this glass wire and you're finished.
Road guards out.
Wherever your training took you across Lackland's 2,775 acres, you marched. You marched to classes, to chow. You marched the night march. And when you had no place else to march, you marched to the drill field to practice marching.
3, 4. Hot, up, 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 hot, up, up. On the left flank, hurry. On the left flank, hurry. On the left flank.
Remember the sounds of the drill field? The flanking column and facing movements? The heels, heels, heels hitting the ground in unison. The shouted commands and the roar of cadence.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the rear, hurry.
Do not anticipate the command.
Right. Hey.
Steady now, steady now. Keep your eyes off the ground. Don't look at the ground. All right, now watch your arms swing. Swing them the same as the man on your right. Steady. Aye! Hey! 1, good. 2, good. 3, bad. Watch your dress in their eyeglasses. 6, 7, 8, 9. All good, all good.
Get your head up off the ground. Ain't no this, so it ain't around and sound.
And the lonely, fading cadence chants as the flights move from training areas to barracks at day's end. The training day officially ends with a playing of retreat. The stars and stripes proudly descend the flagpole in front of base headquarters as Lackland's drum and bugle corps renders retreat. And throughout the base, recruits face the music and salute. Remember, what is there to do in the barracks in the evening? Well, a fellow can spit shine his shoes, bone up on his notes, squeeze in a letter home if there's time. But mostly, he just goes to parties, GI parties. Bring your own broom.
Latrine crew in the latrine. Oh, let's go.
Let's get your locker up, too.
Let's go to the lockers up. You shine your shoes after we're done for the GI in the barracks.
Latrine queen, get your crew in there.
The latrine queen, the recruit in charge of the latrine cleaning detail, rounds up his subjects.
Everybody get out of the latrine now. It's all Flemings. All latrine crew, get in there now. On the double.
15 bottles of beer on the wall. 15 bottles of beer. You take one down and pass it.
And as his crew accompanies their work with song, the latrine queen explains with understandable pride the problems of his job and how his subjects meet them.
You flush them, and then you take a rag and you clean out the water on the inside, and then you wipe all the water film on the outside. And then you take your toilet paper and you fold it a special way. And the lids on your toilets have to be set up. They can't be set down. You start from the top up, you wipe everything down. If you can get dirt from anywhere, even along the bottom of the floor, it's a gig. It counts against you as a demerit. And the same goes for the rest of it. They all assigned to a certain thing. The brass has got to be spotless. Everything's got to be spotless. Just the same as a kitchen would be. And you get out on the floor, instead of using brushes to sweep the floor with, we take our hands, the palm of our hands, and get down and sweep it up. That way we can tell whether the floor is clean. Well, after 9 o'clock, everything's off limits except for one of everything. And if anybody is caught using anything else, they get latrine duty for a week. And that's the way it works.
Okay, everybody at bed. Lights are off.
Lights
At 9 p.m., Lackland's recruit barracks go dark. It's lights out. Sometimes it's a little hard to get a bay full of spirited recruits asleep, especially if a recruit has been left in charge.
Let's get in bed, man. I see a guy standing up there. Hey, Shorty, get in bed. Okay, the next person I catch on bed got the tree for a week. You hear that? If you like to clean them commodes in there, just keep talking.
But more often, the day ends quietly. And as in this barracks, reverently. A bay of recruits join voices in the dark in the Lord's Prayer.
Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Give us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and glory forever. Amen. Good night, Peter.
Airman Johnson, the Air Force has selected you to attend the Guidance Systems Mechanics School located at Lowry Air Force Base, Denver, Colorado.
Good afternoon, Airman Balducci. You have been selected for...
When you receive your assignment, your Air Force future begins to unfold, and your basic training nears its end.
You men are leaving this base. The first room you will go into is the finance room.
You process out.
In the finance room, you will be paid your travel pay and your back pay, and you will receive your pay record.
Tell her, sir.
Tell her 90, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90.
San Antonio to Milo to Fort Worth. Change in Fort Worth, you go to Little Rock, back to Fort Worth to El Paso to Tucson, Arizona. You leave out
By the time you have your travel tickets, it's almost over. But not before a parting word of congratulations from your training
Keep
officer.
the noise down. I'd like to congratulate all of you on successful completion of basic training. Some of you it's been very easy, some not so easy, some very difficult for one reason or another. But you've made it. That's the important thing.
Well, basic training...
Some graduating recruits pause to look back.
That's a good question. What was it like? Something I have never experienced before. It was a new ordeal, but I enjoyed it. I feel that it will enable me to meet people, meet responsibilities, and meet new challenges, be able to conquer them, and to think as a man.
It's just what you make it, I believe. It isn't hard, it isn't easy, but it's a good feeling after you finish it, though, really. Feel like you accomplished something.
You did a lot of growing up in the 11 weeks that you're here, and they crammed a lot of material into you that would take, in civilian life, a year or so. Makes a much better person out of you, I think.
And so they end the long weeks of training. The police calls, the formations, inspections, the stern, necessary discipline, the foot soldier's brand of Air Force fundamentals, your basic training friends. You leave them all behind. But do you really? Somehow, wherever you go, wherever your country or Air Force sends you, they'll travel with you. For while images fade, these sounds will somehow remain. They've become a part of you. The Air Force, you. The United States Air Force Band plays the Air Force Blue.